Alright, how's it going, lads? We're gonna jump straight into it. This is an Aokiji chapter. You love to see it. You love to see it. I was so happy with this. But I'm just gonna jump straight into it and talk about something I really didn't get. So during this chapter, we see Aokiji confronting Garp, obviously, and we see how he joined the Blackbeard Pirates, which I'll get into after this. But there's an attack that Garp uses right here where he goes, blue hole, right? And he attacks something. But I can't tell if that's Aokiji because it just looks like he breaks something. So to me, it looked like he broke the Hibari ice cold sculpture, but it's obviously not what he did. So I can't tell what's going on in this panel. I'm not going to lie to you. I have zero clue. I don't know what he did here. And then it just cuts away, so I have no idea. Also, he's glowing in the previous panel, so I'm wondering what's going on there. But before we jump into the Garp stuff, I actually want to talk about something that I've seen already on Twitter. The kid fans have been like, "Oh, law fans gonna own up now," but I'd like to point out all the translations either said the kid pirates are absolutely just destroyed or annihilated, or I saw one that said obliterated. Right? So, but notice how Oda was kind of like, we're gonna go the light way. We're gonna say soundly defeated, bro. That's not nearly as bad. Plus, we know for a fact it wasn't one tapped. So, lads, the law's still better than kid, and you can't tell me otherwise. People have Blackbeard at their top ones, right? So if he's competing with Blackbeard and he's in the top 5, to a degree, obviously he got very clearly defeated, but still, Blackbeard has a good crew. Law has one member of his crew, and then 2 kind of like cabin boys in John Bart, and then that one penguin guy. Poor Beppo and Law holding up the whole squad, you know? I will say, though, they keep bringing up Rocky Port in every single chapter Blackbeard's in, so it's probably some crazy event, and I want to hear more about it as the chapters go on. But nah, Law still got a better treatment than Kid, because he got about half a chapter of fights against Blackbeard, some solid damage against Blackbeard. In fact, wait, what do we see here? You know, even Beppo scares Blackbeard here and he runs off with him. So Blackbeard had to have a competition to a degree. You know what I mean? So, and also soundly defeated is not nearly as bad as destroyed. So, yeah, kid, you're still down in the dumps, buddy. This doesn't help you. But moving on to the rest of the chapter, we actually have to talk about the fact that we get a flashback with Chopper basically giving a medicine that makes you go so long. But I have to say, it's basically a modified monster point. But still, lads, Chopper, bro, you had time to do that in Wano, but you didn't have time to even have a panel where you were like, I need to start working on the smile fruits. Like, I actually wonder, because I would have mentioned this in SBS about the smile fruits, but did he ever actually even see it? Like, did he ever mention that he was going to try work on something? Because what would have been interesting, and I would have mentioned this, but he never executed it. If we had like 2 chapters of Chopper, like in the background working on something, he tries something and it doesn't work. And he's constantly trying different things and it just doesn't work. You know, it's the one sticking point for him. And then, you know, he's feeling unmotivated, right? He's like, I can't achieve my dream. What am I going to do? I failed at this. And then for the whole rest of for the series, that's in the back of his mind, you know. Next time he has to cure an illness, you know, it's like, well, I couldn't cure the smiles. You know, what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? I couldn't help these kids, you know. And then he sees Vegapunk, who could probably help them and help the kids and help the older people in Wano with the smile fruits, and he's like, I'm inferior. And this is a big arc for Chopper, right? But no, we don't get that. And then when he cures Luffy's illness, he feels accomplished and he goes back and he helps these people, you know, in like an epilogue or something. That would have built it up pretty well and I would have liked that. But whatever. I keep finding little tiny things to dislike about Wano. Not to say it's not good. I have to talk about Wano as a whole eventually. Talk about what I feel about it. Because I gave it a rewatch. But I stopped during Onigashima because I was just, I don't know, I stopped watching it because I kept falling behind on the current episodes, and that stuff was when Rooftop was happening. So I started just keeping my watch list pretty clean. I need to go back and start rewatching Wano again. Because Act 1 and Act 2, I remember rewatching that and I really enjoyed that. But still, forgetting about the worst Straw Hat on planet Earth. We're going to talk. The Aokiji stuff was so good. We got an Aokiji flashback. They still won't give us too much information. In fact, we get like a joke Aokiji makes, which I don't understand. But there's no. But the thing is, right? He talks a lot about the fight against Akainu, and we see Aokiji's pretty strong in this chapter. You know, Blackbeard is pretty fearful of him to a degree. You know, he doesn't. His best commanders are getting frozen by Aokiji. You know, Aokiji's getting some real stocks, which is Akainu stocks, of course. And I like how Oda approached this. I have to say, because it doesn't look like he's a part of Sword. And I think that's an interesting approach because hear me out, right? I think what this allows for is pretty clear, right? This allows for us to kind of view Aokiji in a different light. He's just followed the Marines restricted him for years, and now he's able to follow his own freedom, right? This is the thing about Blackbeard. This is recontextualizing Blackbeard entirely. In fact, it's not even. It's living up to what he said in Jaya, where he was like, dreams will never die. And that vein, he's like, look, you work under me, you can do whatever you want. Pirates are all about following their own dreams, you know what I mean? And I love that about Blackbeard because it makes him endearing. He has that same quality Luffy has, where he just vibes with everyone. He's just really evil and chaotic. He has that same quality, but he just doesn't build that same deep bond, because he says here in this chapter, he goes, and he says very clearly, he's like, we're not just a merry band of chums who goes bumming around together. We all profit from having our own agendas. That's what makes us pirates, right? He doesn't have a connection with these people. He's just like, work with me, I'll let you do your own thing, and we're chill. But he's a really good guy in that sense, right? In the sense that he seems to have that same quality as Luffy does, where he brings people together. And you see that in this chapter, and it seems very believable, which is building up Blackbeard brilliantly. We get the chaotic side of him in Marineford, we get the charismatic side of him here, and the sneaky side of him from the Whitebeard flashbacks. So it's very interesting to see 3 distinct personality traits for Blackbeard that make him kind of, very believable as that final villain that I'm hoping for. And we know I've been talking about him killing Emu theory, coming behind at the end of the fight, and his hand just reaches through Emu, and he's like, "Say haha," right? And he's just he grabs through. Like, that shit's gonna be so cool if that happens, right? I have been envisioning that moment for years. In fact, at some point, if I have the money, I'm gonna commission someone to draw that for me, because that stuff will be so cool. In fact, hopefully I get the money by the time we get Emu revealed, and I can just do that the week off, and that'll be the thumbnail of the video. Be like, lads, here we go. You know what I mean? That's like goal number 1 for this year, boys. If it happens this year, Emu's not getting revealed this year. He's like last 10 chapters even. But yeah, I really liked that about it, because it gave us a new view on Aokiji. He loved Garp, and he loves Garp's ideals, but also, he's not allowed to be free in the Marines. So Ohara really scared him. Yeah. So he's trying to live in his own way, so he can divvy out justice in the way he feels fit. He doesn't necessarily have to agree with Blackbeard, but he's a pirate, and he's thankful for Blackbeard for what he did for him. So he's kind of like, all right, I'll be chill with you, buddy. You know what I mean? As long as he's able to do his own thing. Now, I do find it weird how he doesn't exactly, unfreeze Harby. I get why he's not doing that. He needs to keep Kobe captive. And it's interesting how Law is not here. And I was talking in the previous chapter about, what was it? Perona running into Moria and Law. We figure out Law is part of Sword and stuff. And I still think Law is part of Sword, but this made me more confident about it than ever, because Aokiji's not. So if Aokiji's not, one of them has to be. And I think having Law part of Sword is pretty chill. And I'd like that a lot, especially now, because Aokiji's obviously not. We see here he's pretty clearly just trying to do what he thinks is right. Now, actually, one other thing that's very interesting, right? And they talk about the man marked by flames here, and if you notice, they don't talk about, because we talk about Ohara, and it's obviously not Saul unless he was trying to throw him off, but the information says that man can be found on a pitch black ship, and you're swallowed up by wormholes. So I immediately thought, because people talk about the weather fruit all the time, I immediately thought dragon. Boys, the man marked by flames is dragon. Think of that sign down his face. He must have some scar. Like, he has a sign down his face, which obviously, I don't know. It definitely doesn't translate to freedom. I know O'Hara and like O'Hara and the Library of O'Hara have translated it before, but I just don't remember. But it's definitely not that. But he definitely has a scar somewhere, lads. And they actually confirm it's not him because he got it recently. But then Shiryu brings up the idea that it's from the government. So the man marked by flames could be one of the Gorosei. We might see him here. Hell, it might even be, you know what might be interesting, lads? Pitch black ship. It might be Emu, but I doubt it because they wouldn't have much information on him. And I don't think it could be a Gorosei because he wouldn't travel in anything that wouldn't be a government ship. So I'm thinking it might be Dragon now. Dragon's a big possibility for the man marked by flames. And I think that would be very interesting because it would give Luffy some negotiating power and some reason an actual reason to see his dad other than, oh, we need some epic moments, you know? But I also think it's interesting. Aokiji doesn't deny any of this or conclude any of the information he has already with it. He's just like, yeah, cool, but I don't like poneglyphs. They ruined a good friend's life, right? And you could also argue, yeah, he's trying to change the subject so they don't pick up on the fact he might know that Saul is the man marked by flames, and it also, man, at this point, I'm actually thinking, okay, because Aokiji is the 10th Titanic captain. We're talking about the man marked by flames. His friend Saul is brought up again in this chapter. Bro, Blackbeard or Aokiji have to be on Elbath. This Shanks, Luffy, and Blackbeard 3-way deadlock is going to be so sick, and I cannot wait to see it happen. Because the thing is, with Aokiji being built up more, and he just looks so cool. I have to add this about this chapter. Aokiji looks so cool in this chapter. My guy is coming around with the ice, the drippy ice when he's freezing people. He's hanging around. Like this panel right here where it's revealed that he's the 10th Titanic captain is one of the coldest panels in all of One Piece. I love this panel so much. It's a fantastic panel. I love it so much. I also like the fact that he still shows Garp respect, right? But I'm very happy to see this fight, right? I'm very happy to see where this goes. Because this will show us where the Admirals are. Because everyone thought Garp is, oh my god, Garp is like top 5 now. Everyone was gassing Garp to high heaven, right? So if Aokiji performs well or even beats Garp, the Admiral stocks are going to rise like hell. And I mean, the Admiral stocks have already been rising like hell in recent weeks. Because if we think about it, Sengoku was an Admiral, and a Fleet Admiral, and he's on the same level as Garp. And as I was saying, I said this in a short in the previous, Shiki has to be insane now. If we see what Garp's doing, and if we assume Sengoku is even comparable to him, like let's say it was a Luffy Zoro dynamic where Sengoku is Zoro and like Garp is Luffy, right? So it was like that amount of power difference. So not that much, right? So we're seeing that now. And then Shiki took on the two of them at the same time pretty evenly. Bro has to be absolutely busted. Absolutely busted. You could even say that Shanks might be the new Shiki instead of the new Roger, lads. Maybe that's how busted Shiki was. He was just a bit stupid. Lads, I can't wait to see what happens now. This chapter's getting insane. Yeah, I don't know though. I'm wondering what could happen here. Because I could see with this fight, I don't think we're going to get much on this fight now for a while. In fact, we've been getting a lot of cutaways. We might get... Because the fact we got a big attack, it looks like. Again, I can't tell 100%. I'm still confused what happened in this chapter. So does Aokiji like move away? But it looks like he's hit. But it just looks like... You know what it looks like to me? What Garp hit right here? It just looks like Pika. I just see Pika's mask in that drawing. I don't know why. I need to zoom in, wait. I'll do that later. I'm on Opera. That's one thing about Opera. I love Opera GX's browser, but I can't zoom in for the life of me on that browser. I just don't know how to do it. Um, but yeah, I think this fight's gonna be interesting, and I'm really gonna enjoy it. But I also feel like we're gonna get a cutaway. It's gonna come back in like 5 chapters, and we're gonna figure out what happened. I don't know though. I think Garp's gonna take the win because we got the setup for Moria being released, and that could either go one of two ways. He could be angry at Aokiji for being part of Blackbeard and sabotage him, sabotage him, right? And we see that happen, right? And then Garp escapes, even if he loses to Aokiji, or Aokiji wins. Garp's out of it. He's definitely not dead. I don't think Aokiji will kill Garp, especially how he's talking right now. He might try and kill Kobe though, because he seems to be pissed that Garp likes Kobe. He's like, "Oh, your new protege. Who would you rather kill one to get to the other?" You know. And Hirabi's frozen. I think she's gonna get clear of it very quickly. In terms of what's gonna happen at Honeycomb Islands or Fullerette, right? I don't think we're gonna see that much. I think we're gonna go back to Egghead for a good few chapters now. There's a lot of plot points that kind of need to be, showing up again. Hell, we might even get a further kid chapter because we got the law stuff now. But I feel like we got a kid chapter, we got a law chapter. I think it's time for a Luffy chapter. And we might even get Kuma stuff going on because we haven't touched on Kuma in a while. And I think that'd be very interesting. Last time we saw Bunny crying, like on the floor, so she saw some stuff. And considering, I know a lot of people thought 1081 was going to be a Dragon chapter, but I've given up hope for this until like the end of the year. Like, I think if Dragon shows up again, it's going to be like the end of the year, big final chapter. Dragon shows up behind Luffy or something. I think, or does something. Does anything at all. Drinks a cup of tea on a Tuesday morning, you know what I mean? They're gonna, like, anything they're gonna do to get Dragon to do something is gonna be like the final chapter. But considering they were talking about the government in this chapter, Kizaru might arrive on Egghead by the end of this chapter. By the end of the next chapter, in my opinion. And we might see, Saint Garcia. There might actually be some hints that he might be the guy marked by flames, even though I don't think that's the case. It would be very interesting if he was. There's a lot about this. I will say, this color spread as well. I want to talk about the color spread. I love this like Straw Hat sleeping color spread. I just love Jinbei being included in the color spread because he's just chilling. He's just enjoying his time there. He's like, I love seeing Jinbei in it. And Sanji's reading. Do we see him? Oh, he's reading a cookbook. Sorry, yeah. Where? I actually don't see Nami and Robin. They're not in. So I was like, Nami's probably reading it, or Robin's probably reading as well. We got. Oh, it's all the lads, is it? Oh yeah, it's all the lads. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that, man. I didn't. Bro, you know what I've realized, and this is an odd thing, right? Usopp, Oda in like post time skip is showing off Usopp to be ripped, but he never gives him the opportunity to do it in the color spreads, unfortunately. But Garp. So I'm assuming from this chapter, Garp has advanced conquerors. I think it's very obvious. We see like the sparks and stuff, and I don't know. Aokiji probably has it. He has to have it. No, he has to have it. There's no if or buts about it. Like, he kind of has to have it. Oh, the panel. Actually, I'm looking at it now again, right? The panel where Hibari is like frozen. It's such a powerful panel, man. It just, I don't know, man. It just looks so clean. And Garp notices it. Oh my god, wait a minute. No. Does Garp have future sight? Because look, there's a panel where he like, his eyes kind of brighten up like he noticed something, but he doesn't have enough time to react to it. And then, bam, we see in the next panel. Garp definitely has future sight, lads. Lads, Garp 100% has future sight. Oh, we need to look at this panel again, right? So, they're talking about non-sword members, yeah. And Vice Admiral Kobe, aren't safe yet? If he keeps running with these shackles, he'll wind up dead. And then it pans into Garp's eye. And every time we've had future sight, it's panned into someone's eye or like that part of their face. It did it with Shanks in the last chapter. In fact, I'm going to check now We're gonna check now while we're here. Right? It did it with Shanks in the last chapter. Oh no, wait, it was the chapter after this. This was like Garp. We got 2 Garp chapters in a row. Actually, that's crazy. But where is Shanks? His future sight moment. Yeah, here we go. It goes into the eye, right? Obviously he didn't get the Shri, but I think it was to make it more less obvious, and maybe that he's less skilled at it. But it's close to the same thing, bro. And it's very, very close, right? And I think it happened. I think Garp has future sight, and that's cool to see. If it does happen, it's been confirmed in this chapter, which is really cool. I'm really happy about this. You know, Garp's getting a lot of respect now, and I feel like, do we feel like Luffy's stronger than Garp at the minute? Part of me feels like no, right? Part of me feels like it should still be no, because it's like you're still wanting to build up. You know, Luffy hasn't actually punched Garp or interacted with Garp since he became a Yonko, so you're kind of like, alright, is this like the parental thing where it's like because we see Garp in action now, he's less strong than Luffy? Because Luffy's done some crazy stuff, but he's not given the same respect. Like, we're seeing respect put on Garp's name with all these scenes, some really cool moments. And Luffy, when he rocked up to Egghead, didn't get that. So I think we're going to see that now, and maybe my opinion will entirely change. But it'd be an interesting approach now if Garp is still stronger than Luffy, right? I don't think so, though. Because the more I think about this, I think by the end of the year, 100% is Luffy going to be in the top 5. By the end of the year, Luffy's going to be top 5. Blackbeard's going to be top 3. Because Big Mom and Kaido keep going down that list. Kaido, I know I put Big Mom as stronger than Kaido previously, but I keep looking at this again, and it just can't. It can't be put. Like, it can't be put down because her emotional state is too easy to abuse. So even if she was physically stronger than Kaido, Kaido's just a beast, man. And that's what makes all these people really respectable, bro. Really crazy respectable, and I can't wait to see it. But the freeze effect on Aokiji is so cool. I hope he gets more in the story because it is like some of the sickest shit I've ever seen in my life. Without fail, it is like so clean. I love it so much, bro. But one thing again with we see Luffy in this chapter, and he's not around. We don't see him in either of these, do we? Wait, if I go back to where Law is, right? Do we see Luffy at all here? Like, I don't think so. We only see Garp. We see Garp. We see Van Auger, and we see the sick fella, and we see Burgess. We do not see Luffy. We didn't see Luffy in the last chapter. So I think Luffy is at Egghead. Luffy's the one going to Egghead. We see here that Blackbeard is not on Egghead right now, which I think says that he will be there. He is going to go there, but not yet. You know what I mean? He has 2 pit stops to make, potentially. So he is going to, once again, this big war is going to break out on Egghead. This big fight's going to break out on Egghead. We're going to have a big scuffle between potentially either Luffy and Saint Garcia. And so there's 2 possibilities for this, right? And either way, I'm going to be so hyped. So either Saint Garcia is not that strong, and Luffy goes and fights Kizaru. That's pretty simple. Or we have an idea where Saint Garcia is bloody busted, right? And then we have Sanji and Zoro fighting an Admiral. Or it's probably just Zoro, if I'm going to be honest. Because it would make sense. I do want Sanji to fight someone, of course. I made that video there saying that Sanji is now stronger than Zoro, which I still believe. Because I'm going to go back again to another chapter. Because we see in this chapter, in a previous chapter, I believe it was 78. Seraphim Jinbei, and all the Seraphim are relative to King, in my opinion, right? Because they have the same sort of attributes, and they don't have that intensive hockey. But still, my man Sanji takes a hit from Seraphim Jinbei like it's nothing in his new Germa form, and Zoro was taking hits after hits. You know what I mean? Man is nowhere near that strong. We see it here actually. He just takes. Yeah, he takes a hit right to the face and he's smiling. No damage done whatsoever. That is insanity. 100% do I believe Sanji's stronger than Zoro right now, but I don't think we're gonna get a big Sanji fight in this arc. Because, to be honest, he's had two major arcs that have had large focus on him, and Zoro has got nothing. I've complained about this for so long. He's got nothing, and we need to get Zoro something. He needs to get some time to just have a fight that's big, that might help him with like character development in some regard. I don't know, but we need to take the focus off Sanji for a little bit, because Wano dropped a lot of little tiny pieces that we can chew on for Zoro, but nothing with some meat on it. You know what I mean? We had a lot with Sanji. Sanji got his big moment. Now the only thing that can happen is he completely accepts his Germa part and gets Conqueror's Haki after fully becoming himself and fully being himself and accepting both parts of his personality and both parts of who he is, and then he gets Conquerors. That's the only thing left, and that's going to be like final arc stuff. So I don't know, man. I don't think there should be too much focus put on him. I think it should be a Zoro arc right now. But I have to say, I'm excited. I do kind of want that though. If we get a double team between Sanji and Zoro against Kizaru, not only would that be fantastic for the Admiral stocks, that would be very, very interesting. An interesting fight. And also, since we were talking about Shiki versus the Admirals, it'd be a good switcheroo where instead of Shiki, instead of like the pirate being the one and the Marines being the two, the pirates are the two and the Marine is the one. A nice switcheroo, right? And they might have their own little moment where it's like, oh my god, Kizaru fought against two of the strongest Yonko commanders. Like, it is a crazy event. It split Egghead in two, right? And then Luffy's just out there fighting a celestial dragon. Like, that stuff would be crazy. You know what I mean? I don't know. Everything about this chapter brings up some interesting ideas, and I cannot wait. We haven't even talked that much about Garp, although there isn't much to expand upon. Like, he definitely has Conquerors. He very potentially has Future Sight, which I am super excited about. I cannot wait for Garp to have Future Sight. That's going to be some of the most interesting stuff ever, man. I am so excited for that. Without fail, that is going to be super interesting. You have no idea. If he has Future Sight, man, he is so busted. Do we think Garp is beating Kaido? Like, do we think that right now? Is that what we think right now? Man, Celestial Dragons, bro. We need to see something. We need to see something from them soon, lads. And no break next week. No break next week. We got a lot of breaks recently, so I'm just happy not to have a break. Oh wait, did he color it in? Oh lads, oh we got a color, and I didn't see the coloring. Okay. Oh, this is entirely different. I missed this entirely. Okay. So Garp actually whacks Aokiji into the ground. That's insanity. Okay, no, that's crazy. That is crazy. This changes the conversation. Man, that's a crazy attack. Aokiji just got walloped. Oh my god, I love that so much, bro. That's actually beautiful. My god, this Garp conversation just changed. Like, because Aokiji, if I remember correctly, Aokiji was in my top 5 in my top 30. So this changes everything for me, man. Garp is definitely top 5. I was talking about maybes here. Garp is top 5. I'm saying it right now. If he's not top 5 by the end of the year, I don't know what to say, but I'm putting him top 5 right now. Garp is top 5. Garp is top 5. We're definitely getting a cutaway now. We're not seeing the rest of this fight. Because if we're ending off with something like that, I think we're definitely getting a cutaway. And the Sulong looks nice as well. Absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to see what happens there. But like, man, and yeah, Advanced Conquerors seems pretty obvious because I know the artist who colors that did a video about Gresha, right? That's how you pronounce it. Did a video about how to color in the Advanced Conquerors lines that she does, and that's the same coloring style, I think. So it looks like everyone else also thought that was Advanced Conquerors, so that's handy enough with another confirmed user, which is exciting. It's exciting to see. I know a lot of people could have said, well, obviously you saw that attack he did, But a lot of people are saying, why are you hyping that up? Luffy did the same thing in Dressrosa, which is true, to be fair. That is true. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm incredible. I'm excited though. The problem with the next chapter is, lads, and this is very off topic, but the Xenoblade DLC releases next week, so the next chapter better not be a banger. I swear to God, we better get a low chapter. We better get a mid chapter next week, so I don't have to do much work. You know what I'm saying? Don't have to talk for too long, because I want to just keep playing that DLC, lads. I might even just play it in the background. I don't know. We'll see. Nah, always have time for One Piece, always and forever. And Sanji is stronger than Zoro agenda is beginning right now, lads. I'm telling you right now. Also, Aokiji for sexiest man in One Piece. I'm rocking that agenda. I'm rocking that agenda right now. That's my current agenda. Aokiji for sexiest man in One Piece. And sexiest Bro, that panel is so clean. I love that panel so much. I don't know why. It's just so clean. It's so clean. What can I say? What can I say? I can't wait to see more, but I do think we're gonna go back to Egghead in the next chapter, which is unfortunate. It would be nice if I would have stuck to the rule of threes and we got an extra chapter on this whole incident, but I actually don't think so. So that's unfortunate. But out of curiosity, though, I do want to know what is people's favorite admiral really out of the original three admirals, because a lot of people I may say like Kizaru, and then I always liked Aokiji. And then obviously people are starting to warm up to Akainu a little bit. But I'm not an Akainu fan that much. I've always loved Aokiji. And it's actually interesting that I would have took it on a different way compared to him actually being part of Sword, which I'm really happy about. I'm really happy about that approach. And of course, I didn't mention this much at all in the chapter. We talked about Blackbeard's charisma. But it is great to see Blackbeard get the respect of a Yonko. In fact, Blackbeard is the way Big Mom should have been, where he is portrayed as a silly guy who takes damage, but when the gloves are down, he still gets that respectful scenes. You don't see a mix between the respectful scenes and the goofy scenes. They are separated, which was the problem with Big Mom. And I think Blackbeard is just going to be a better Big Mom. And also, we have to admit, the panel where it's looking up from Blackbeard from an upward angle is really clean. And you see Trafalgar's hat there. That also makes me think he's not dead, because Ace wasn't dead when the hat was shown. So I don't think Trafalgar's going to die. I do, however, think he might die by the end of the series now, because we know what all this led up to. So I am very intrigued about it. I do wonder, though, now there's no reason for him to be revealed as a Sword member, because he's just chilling with Blackbeard. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's gonna happen there, but I'm very interested. Also, Oda has really upped his game with destruction, his drawn destruction, because man, every single chapter now, the last two chapters he's drawn destruction of buildings, destruction of ships, and it's been looking really clean. And I gotta put respect on Oda's name. It's been looking great. I've loved how, like, the rough style of Wano, where the fight against Luffy and Kaido had a bit of roughness to it. It was drawn really well, but it had a bit of grit to it. That's what it looks like when he draws the destruction of the ships, and I really like that as well. I don't see it much in this fight with Aokiji too much, but it's still a really good fight though. Look at it already. Like, there's a lot of movement here. Actually, wait, what happened? So. Oh, wait, I see it now. He actually grabs Aokiji by the mouth and flings him like a WWE wrestler. Man, that is so sick. Oh, lad, oh man, that's so cool. That's actually Garp has such a cool fighting style. I think Garp is just Luffy without the devil fruit, which is very interesting. I would have actually liked to see that a lot. We might say, will he adopt more of Garp's style as he gets older? That's interesting to see. Maybe he will. I don't know, man. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things this chapter has told me. 1, Garp is top 5 right now. 2, Blackbeard is going to get a lot more top 1 believers after this chapter. If people like Aokiji have respect for him, and will fight under him and have enough respect where he won't just let Kobe go, which is actually very weird because we know now he actually respects Blackbeard because he was doing something like that, which is interesting. Which I think I love this take on Blackbeard, as I've said before, that he does have a lot of charisma to him. You know, he's not. He has a lot of charisma to him, and he's not actually just a bumbling idiot. He has a lot of things to him, which I'm really happy about. You know what I mean? He actually has Luffy-like qualities, which makes him a perfect villain for Luffy. And I can't wait to see what happens next. And once again, vote Aokiji for One Piece's sexiest man.